Got it. Good morning, everyone. Good morning. So we're getting started this morning. I'm going to give out some pertinent information from a long-term perspective, and then we'll get into the daily trading. We have a plethora of information that is out today. And in that information, we'll talk about that too. I'll get my next man up, Mr. Ron Jones, to kind of give us the breakdown of what the news is today. And we'll go ahead and do that now. Ron, if you don't mind, can you just tell me what the news is?
All right, so at 9:45, we have a yellow folder. It's a final services PMI. 10 a.m., we have a red folder, ISM services PMI. We also have another red folder at 10 a.m., JOLTS job openings. And then at 10 a.m., we have a yellow folder, RCM/TIPP economic optimism.
Fantastic. Okay, cool. Okay, everybody. So that is the news for today. So because we're heavy news today, we're gonna look for opportunities, but we'll see if we're gonna trade before 10:05. But we won't force it. But before then, let's talk about this daily chart, right? And let me get to the daily chart here. All right. So for my long-term people in their retirement accounts, their, long-term accounts, long-term holdings, whatever the case is, we trade the NASDAQ futures on a day-to-day basis. We tell about particular stocks that we think are going to move in a certain direction on a weekly basis, but on an intraday basis, we trade the NASDAQ futures. Here's how this goes. As technology goes, so goes the stock market. Okay. As technology goes, so goes the stock market. So I like to get people to understand and see how I see things, and I'm able to kind of, from a long-term view, be able to kind of have an idea of which way it's going. Good morning, Quentin. How you doing? Good, man. Good. I'm sitting up here giving the information. Here. Give me 1 second. So as we look at this daily chart, we can see where it literally went into a downtrend here, right? You can see the downtrend. And then you see it make a real strong, fast up move, and it went literally up into this area. I drew this area a few days ago, a few weeks ago, actually. And we said if it gets back up in here, this is going to be an area of contention, right? And if you notice, it gave it hit this price a lot, this area a lot, in like a 6 to 10 day period of time. Okay. And then now price is now trying to come down. Let me go ahead and make a pointed statement to you. If price closes below this blue line, I'm sorry, I said blue, this green line here, I'm letting you know now it's going to go down a lot. When I say a lot, I mean at least 2,500 points over the next however many months. Okay. And I can pretty much assure you of that based on the history of the stock market. I don't do anything but look at history and then kind of watch it to repeat itself. So what we're watching for today is a very crucial point. And I'll say it again. If today's market closes on the NASDAQ, even in futures, closes below, and I'll give you the number so you can know exactly what the number is, right? If it closes below 15,836.75, then get ready because the market's going to go down. All right. So be very, 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 very careful of that. I'm just telling you what I think is going to happen. This is for educational purposes only, but that's just my personal viewpoint. Okay. That being said, we're going to get to the today's session. Right now, we're also on an inside day today, meaning that it's higher than the previous day's low and is lower than the previous day's high, right? So if you look at it here, you can see that its price is in between those points, is down 74 points right now. And because of that heavy news, price is going to move one way or another, right? So we'll see. And then we get to our daily chart. I'm sorry, our intraday trading charts. We can see now where price is just really consolidating, and there's really nothing to do right now. There's really nothing to do right now until all this news comes out. We don't trade at 935 anyway, so there you have it. And we'll just wait and see. All right. So we are here just waiting for everything to kind of come together. It is 9:33 and we're ready to rock and roll. We have the markets kind of just sitting here. So we'll wait. And it's waiting on the news, so we'll wait on the news as well. And so there's nothing to do right now, everybody. We just wait on the market to basically all right, ladies and gentlemen. So we're waiting here. We're waiting. So there's
how do I get the remaining volume to show up on here?
oh yeah, I probably got to put that on there. Hold on 1 second, ladies and gentlemen. I'm trying to. So all you gotta do is you go to I'm tripping. Go to studies, and then it's the countdown timer. And I'll teach you all of this as well. You see the countdown timer. Okay, so then what we can do is do me a favor. Just type PFA and Q right there. And then hit save all. And yes. Now click the X button. Now go to highlight the 900. Then go to analysis. Go to analysis at the top. then click PFANQ. See, all it did was save all of your parameters here, and it says all of them are the same thing. So you're good to go there. Okay. All right. So, all right, ladies and gentlemen, we are off and running. So now we're going to see. We're going to see, again, as a rule that we have, we don't trade before 5 minutes before news and 5 minutes after news. We have to give it a chance to kind of settle out so that we don't get caught in a juggernaut. So just keep that in mind. It's 9:37. We don't have a setup coming right this very second anyway. What we'd like to happen would be we'd like for price to come down and give us a fake move. This is exactly what I was telling you before. You want that, what professionals live, you want that poke bar to happen on the 2700, right? You want that poke bar to happen on 2700, and then it'll pull back pretty decently on the 900. And then on the 300, what'll happen is wait a minute.
Now, why is my chart?
Because it's delayed. Remember, I was telling you it's going to be delayed until I can get you your actual data.
Oh, okay.
Because that right there is 570. Ooh, yeah, that's
way out.
But at least you know what it's going to do before it happens. If we had that information in real time, that'd be something nice. But it's off because it's delayed. Let me look in your top screen there, if I'm not mistaken. But it doesn't say delayed data though. It does, but it is delayed. It is delayed. See, I don't have the 8100 on yours, and this is what I'm talking about, right? You would have, if it wasn't 5 minutes before news.
Yeah.
Matter of fact, what I want you to do is I want you to pull up this is pull up your dome. See if you remember how to do it. Or do you already have it up? All right, so pull it where you can see everything. That's what it is. It says,
remind me why we added the 8100 yesterday.
we're at 8100 because we're going to not use, if you see the arrow on that 300, you're going to hit the buy market. You're going to go buy market. We did the 8100 because we're not using the smaller time frames.
Yeah, I remember now. The 100. Okay.
Yeah, we're not going to be using
this. Is already selected for the 300.
What?
This?
Oh no. All you got to do is it didn't work no way, so it don't matter. So it's done. So now you just have to wait, right? Now you have a trade that's happening on the 900 because you see where it's not green on the other side, so you don't. So never mind. It's a counter trend trade. It's a counter trend to that. So right now, technically, if you get an arrow up on the 900, you would have an entry to go up, counter trend within the counter trend. And the trend chart is here. The overall trend chart is here. So and this is the entry chart. So if you enter here, you're entering based on this trend. But where is it in relation to this trend is what you want to know, right? So we just wait. So ladies and gentlemen, what I'm explaining to Mr. Jones is the fact that we're trend traders and we trade a trend within the trend. And it is extremely important that you understand where the market is and where it might be going based on what it did in the past. But if you're trading with the overall trend and you're waiting for price to kind of pause in the market, you have a high probability of winning on your trades. yesterday we took 2 trades to, to be as full transparency. We took 2 trades yesterday, 1 on 2, lost on 1 after we got off on yesterday. So we'll see what it produces today, and hopefully before we get off, we'll have an opportunity. But right now, it doesn't look like we're going to have a trading opportunity before the 9 o'clock, before the 10 o'clock hour. So what I want you to do is I'm going to want you to on sim, just for practice purposes, if you get the arrow to go up on the green, so you'll get it ready. It shouldn't put you in. It should give you a hit by, okay. And then if it gets you in, then and we'll watch and see what happens, right? That's it. All right, cool. So look at your thing. Yeah, go ahead and call that. I'm gonna tell you why, right? Because we're basing it on, we already know what's gonna happen. Because it's doing it based on the price it sees there, not what it sees there. But that trade is working, right? You see it.
Oh, it's doing it based on
that chart.
Okay.
Which is fine, but you see that chart there is still working because the entry on this chart, ladies and gentlemen, the entry, we don't trade around news. We wait for it to settle. So, but it gave us an entry of 28.22, and it went to going to 8.33. So we'll see what it does, and that's a 900 entry, and that's a trend within a counter. That's a trend within a counter trend trade there. But now it's turning into a trend trade, and you see it's at 22, and it's just continuing to go. So that trade worked well. Full disclosure, we didn't trade that trade live because, again, you have news is coming out at 9:45. So that is a news-driven move. But the setup that we have and the way that we trade, it is working. So you already know that that's going to work, right? And as you can see, it's kind of hitting a level of resistance that I had drawn from the other day. So we just have to kind of wait and see if it's going to push out or not. It's probably going to push, but we'll see. We'll see.
We'll step away for a quick sec.
Oh, absolutely. So we'll wait and see what this thing does here.
Yeah, can you show me where to get to this one more time? Because I don't remember.
What you trying to do?
I just want to make sure I can get to it. Yeah, get to this. Go.
So go to let me see. Also go to file. Go to find symbol. Go to open trading zone. Just click that. There you go.
Okay.
And then you can, of course, move it where you want to move it and all that kind of stuff. Now you see what I'm saying? So, and that's why I said I think it's good if you want to do that. I think it's good for you to have 2 screens. That way you don't have to be fixated or trying to, maneuver. Because in the midst of trading, I'm trying to tell you, when that money gets on the line, emotions get involved, you don't want to have fidgety hands.
Mm-hmm.
I've had fidgety hands before, so I know
Mm-hmm.
I know what it's like. But see, ladies and gentlemen, price floor analysis as we traded, it worked to perfection on that particular trade on the 900. And what we'll do is we'll box it out so you can see it. Entry there. Pull back here. Pro trader fake right there. And everything just happened to move in that direction. Okay, so news is over with, but we have 10 o'clock news. You said we have 10:05 news as well?
It's 10 o'clock. That's all 10 o'clock.
It's all 10 o'clock news. Okay, so you saying, yeah, we don't trade at 10:05. I got you. Yeah. So ladies and gentlemen, so we're tongue tied. What we're gonna do is simply, we can't trade at 9:50, and then at 9:55 we can't trade to 10:05. Right. So we've had the 9:45 news to come out, and what we'll do is we'll just give it an opportunity to settle out here. We are on the inside day, and I tell people all the time, you have to be very careful on inside days. And we just sitting there waiting, man. That's it. Just sitting here waiting. Just sitting here waiting. The object of the game in trading and investing is to have a set of rules, right? And to do as close as you can, the exact same thing every time. But there are nuances in the market that you have to pay attention to. One of them being news, because even though you get a setup, what you don't want to do is trade during news, because even though this trade worked out in our favor and it was great, it was a great setup and it worked and all of that kind of stuff. What you don't want to do is get caught in a move that it moves in a very, very strong and vibrant fashion in the opposite direction of where you thought it was going to go. That can be a very trying situation, right? So it is my opinion that you don't trade around news. It is also my opinion that you do not put yourself in a situation to over leverage, right? The name of the game is to minimize risk and maximize your return. If you're right, stack the trade. If you're wrong, get out of the trade. It is really, even though it's simple as that, it's not that very easy when you're actually doing it, right? It's kind of like playing Monday morning quarterback. You can be on here and you can say what you thought the quarterback or the running back or whatever should have done all day long. But if you get your tail in that game and you have a 350-pound guy bearing down on you, or you've been hit a few times, I mean, your thought process is very different actually in the game. And that's part of what we do here at Profit Stalker. We kind of teach you the way of how to stalk, how to maneuver, how to move, so that you put yourself in a situation to actually make money and make money consistently.
And that's real.
I'm sorry.
I said, and that's real, because sometimes my hand be sweating when I'm touching that mouse, about to push that buy and that sell button.
I mean, and the thing is, I tell people all the time, you don't know until you get into the situation, then you know, right? As of right now, guys, ladies and gentlemen, we have a situation where it keeps hitting that resistance line. It's hit it twice this morning on my larger time frame to the left. If you're looking at the charts, it's the 8100. That level of resistance it looks like it's trying to hold, but we don't know if it's going to hold or not. right? We don't know. But what I will tell you is at 10 o'clock, or about 10 o'clock, it's going to tell you everything you want to know, right? It's going to tell you everything you want to know. So that 10 o'clock news is going to have an effect on the market. I can guarantee you that.
Right,
I
so
get
looking at the chart.
so. And that's it. So I mean, if anybody has any questions, man, please feel free to put them in the chat, and I'll answer them to the best of my ability live in the markets, so that others can see. Again, we have an inside day, so I don't know if we had the Christmas rally early. I don't know the answer to that. This is another thing. This is some big news for people who watch stocks. Pay attention to Meta, because Mark Zuckerberg, this is information that you won't get anywhere else live as far as commentary is concerned. While we're waiting on the market to kind of set up, Mark Zuckerberg sold a significant amount of shares in Meta on yesterday. Significant amount. I don't know the exact amount, but I think it was to the tune of $190 million. So some move is being made with Meta. I don't know what it is, and I don't know what they're going to do. But something's afoot with that. So pay attention to Facebook stock price here over the next year, and pay very, very close attention to that. Just for informational purposes, for your benefit financially. So if you pay attention to that, you might be able to capitalize on why he's doing what he's doing. It's not shown yet, but it will be shown. So, all right. So you see it's breaking through this resistance. You got in that price, you got in that play at 22, it's at 55. Now you got it up before then, but this thing is, if you're looking at the long-term chart, it ain't told you to get out yet. It's just continuing to move up, right? So you just sitting there waiting. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we're here. I'm just going to take a small breather here. Again, if there are any questions, please feel free to ask in the chat. And
you see it past that resistance line you drew on the 8100.
Say that one more time.
You see that it shot past through the resistance and support lines you drew on the 8100.
I do. That yeah, it got through there. So we're
That's probably
gonna
the news happening too.
Yeah, it's getting, like I said, that news is going to make the market move. So we'll see if it gets up and then retest and fails. But we'll see if that resistance now becomes support. But we don't know that yet. We'll give it a chance to kind of do what it's going to do here. All right, ladies and gentlemen, give me 1 second. Oh my, keep going up there. Oh yeah. That's how you learn.
I don't have to save it all again, right?
Yes,
You
please.
save it every time you exit out.
You save every time you get out.
Okay.
913. Waiting on it too. We haven't had a trade set up today, so around noon, so that's good. So give us a chance to do what it's gonna do here. Mm-hmm.
Go to file and then a print. Hit the PFA.
Yeah, exactly right. Exactly right. So price is now pulling back, ladies and gentlemen. Looks like it to this uh resistance zone I had drawn from earlier. So we'll see how the market moves. Okay. We have 10 o'clock news coming out in 2 minutes, and it's a red folder. Red meaning it's extremely important, and it's a high probability market mover. That's all that means. After 10 o'clock, we don't have anything, correct?
After 10, no.
That's right. Look at you.
I want to remind everyone too to leave your emails in the chat so you can get a copy of the Profit Stalker book.
All right. I appreciate it. All right. So we just, I mean, it's almost that 10 o'clock hour. Almost. What I tell you.
Yeah.
Remember I told you about that market just
Yeah.
yeah. Yeah. It went through my other resistance zone. Let's see what this thing's got going on today here. So now we just, I mean, it literally we just sitting here waiting. Ten o'clock news is out. I didn't anticipate it making such a strong move to the upside. So let me check the daily here to see. It's plenty of ways before it's still an inside day. It's got to get all the way up to 16,021. So that's not a big deal. We just wait on that. All right. It's got to get all the way up to that line there. Even before we even start thinking about sniffing the highs. So it's a long way to go. Now we're at 10:05. We're able to go live without trading and see what happens. All right. 9:45 is 8. I mean, I said 9:45, 10:05. That traded 9:22 at 7, not 7, not it was 8:22, excuse me. At 8:22, that point things. Now you wouldn't have been in this trade realistically unless you were in it and you just like, I'm gonna hold it and put my stop at break even, and you took that chance. You can do that. It's not. Oh my God! It's getting to another level. See, this is another level of resistance. So let's see if it pushes through this like a hot knife through butter.
Oh wow!
These levels coming back up obviously don't mean as much to the market. So we'll see. Here, this one right here seems like we'll see here.
I think she about to tap out.
Say that one more time, Quentin.
I think she about to tap out.
Think she tapping out?
Mm-hmm.
We gonna find out. We about to find out here in a second, boss. We're about to find out here in a second.
The market, that is. Let me make sure. Let me clarify.
It's sitting there.
Mm-hmm.
It's sitting there. So oh
Well,
my.
well, I'm proven wrong.
Yeah, this thing right here just is strong to the upside. I'm trying to tell you the fact that they everybody knows that if price gets below that 832 area uh and closes, then you're going to start to have some panic probably setting in the market. So they're trying to offset that as much as possible, and in addition to that, take out as many amateur traders as possible to keep them from to kind of snatch up their shares, snatch up their contracts, and then take the market in the opposite direction. Classic moves. Classic moves. So I'm just sitting here waiting now. This area may hold. I don't know if it will or will not. We'll just have to wait and see. We're able to trade now. So now we'll wait for our opportunities to take advantage of the markets. All right. So the market is now hold on one second for me. Let me see what I see here. The markets are now it might be exhausted now at that resistance level. So we'll see. The only trade that you're going to do 100% is the the poke bar trade. If it doesn't give you a poke bar, we're not doing anything other than that. And the reason being is because we want to set you up for success today, not tomorrow, not okay, today. And so that you can, let's see here. Ladies and gentlemen, on that arrow, that's a counter trend trade. We don't trade trend within counter trend trades, and because that thing can definitely go against you because it's counter trend. So we just chill. We just chill, wait on it. Just wait on it. You want to be on camera? Or you want to be off camera?
Oh, I can be on camera.
You can be on camera.
Yeah, I don't mind.
All right. So, ladies and gentlemen, we have a situation where you have a pullback on that larger time frame. You can look this one of two ways, right? So we gotta let the market dictate what we want to do here. You have a pullback, meaning prices coming back down after making a strong up move on the larger time frame. Or some people are going to say, hey, well, it hit a resistance area and it's pausing right there, so it may go down from here. So there are two trains of thought, and here's the correct way of thinking: just follow the market. Right? Just if you just follow the market, everything else will take care of itself. Don't try to be the first person in. Don't try to be the first person out.
Mm. Mm.
That one possibly coming up on the 300
To go which way?
to go down.
300 right there.
But you see it. So this is when I tell you common sense has to prevail. Why am I not trading that, Quentin?
That chart there is consolidating.
Yeah,
I mean, it's too volatile right now, and it's consolidating. Ron, you see how it's so compact and so bunched up.
Yeah.
And those candles. And I don't, I'm not as experienced as Dr. Jones or Keith as it relates to that, but those candles are pretty large and they frequent together.
Mm-hmm. Gotcha.
What's the terminology for it, Keith?
What? Consolidation, range.
No, I'm talking about those large candles bunched up together like that. I can't remember what it was.
Cluster, herky jerky. But I also see that it's a counter trend trade, first of all. So I'm probably taking that right out of news and consolidation. And also, I don't see any divergence anywhere to take that counter trend trade off a higher high or a lower low. So it's just just not the trade to take most likely. But
She doing something now though.
yeah, I can't see it. Is that I can't see the volume thing is blocking the bars right there. Where you can take, but I don't think it's
Well,
divergent.
it's red and
Oh,
red now.
yeah, it's divergence. I wouldn't have told y'all to take that trade
Yeah,
simply
it's divergent.
because it's no divergence.
Okay.
I wouldn't have told you to take that trade. I don't care. It might go down and this, that, and the other, but what you want to trade is when you're not doing all of this right here. Ladies and gentlemen, let me explain something to you in very, very easy fashion. It's easy and simple to know when to trade. When it's like, oh yeah, here's a trade and it's great, that's when you take the trade. When everybody gets to talking about why I should or shouldn't, just leave it alone, right? When there's a bunch of conversation going on, probably don't want to take the trade. If one person says one thing and somebody says something different, then probably both of you right, just depending on how the market moves, right? Is this a trade legitimately from a algorithmic standpoint? Yes, it is. It's a trade short, algorithmically speaking. However, I wouldn't take this trade because if you get that thing, you see that thing pushed up so fast, and you'll be mad at all get out. So we just gonna wait on it.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, it's popping now, dog. You in there? You are in there. You want to see an email that is music to your ears, music to mine too.
Okay.
So now we ready to roll.
It's gonna be up to date, like up to speed.
Yeah, it's everything. You're gonna be ready to rock and roll now. So hold on a second. Let me go in. I gotta get your credentials. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to be here, but I'm gonna be taking care of something on a different note that I need to take care of real quick. So let me do that. Is yeah, you don't want to know this right here. You want to wait on everything to be like, and I mean it's nice, but it's not. You know what I mean? It's nice, but it's not. And all we do is wait on everything to line up. 329. Trying to go down. So here it is. You know, if it goes down and breaks this low right here on this 2700 chart, that's an ABC pattern to go up. So let me show you what I'm talking about. Forget the indicators are just there to confirm what you're seeing in price to give you some level of confidence here. But you see this uptrend. You see that uptrend there? Right? And remember how I drew that thing yesterday when I told you go down, up, and then it comes down and make a little, and then it takes off to the upside?
Yeah.
That's probably what you have here. So we don't know. Let me see if that's a double bottom. So we just got to wait on it to see if it breaks that low. But that's all it is an uptrend. And this right here is potentially an ABC pattern in this area here.
Now, if it breaks the low, it's going to continue down.
If it breaks the low, it's probably going to try to go back up because it's going to do that thing I told you. Remember, I'll draw it again so you can see it. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the only way we trade, right? I don't say this out loud enough probably, but this is what we're looking for on to some degree with how we trade. Uptrend. That's usually how that works. Pay attention to that because I'm telling you, That's typically how the market moves in an uptrending market, and then moves in a direct opposite like that in a downtrending market. So just keep that in mind. I'm going to go ahead and put everything back the way it's supposed to be. Don't let the indicators fool you. The indicators are just there for us to confirm what we're seeing in price as a visual. But that is not, we don't trade indicators. It's only there as a confirmation. Indicators to me are nothing more than a seatbelt. That's all it is.
Plus the 300.
Oh, I need to flush all of them, man. But you can, say my bad. Let me see. Just wait on it. It's coming. Guys, because I got to set Ronald up over here, we're going to go down for a second, but I'll be right back up. Just give me a second here.
Did you ever get that floss curve?
Yeah, I got some in there. I did. I got you.
You on the live or the Zoom?
Where I don't want to be going out these.
No, I'll get it. Don't worry about it.
Yeah,
Don't worry about it.
I'm gonna be digging in your draw.
Yeah, I get you. Hold on. All right. So, what did you ask me, Keith?
Are you gonna be down? You getting off the live or the Zoom?
No. I'm just getting off. I'm not getting off anything. It's just going.
Oh, okay, I got you.
The data feed is going to go out when I try to help him do his thing here. Let's see. Close up. I told y'all I drew that line for you to show you what it was going to do. So now,
Hmm? There we go.
Poke bar on the 300
on the poke bar on the
or 900.
2700.
Oh, okay.
Mm.
Because basically all you're doing is looking for a pullback on that 900 now.
Gotcha.
You got the poke bar?
You're waiting for the poke bar on 2700.
Yeah, it's gonna coincide with the 900 pullback in theory.
Yes. It's going to get the market structure should happen on the 900.
That was close. That's rough. All right, here we go. Man, still didn't give it. That's an inside.
All right. This so ladies and gentlemen, we have a trade right here. The entry was 20. So we're gonna see how far it goes here. Entry is 20. So let's see how far this thing goes.
It's just a trade.
Is that on the 900?
It was on the 300. So we're in at 20. We're gonna see how far this thing goes.
But would that have been considered a legitimate trade?
For you, no.
Thank you.
But it's still it's how I told you green and well, it's not green and green, but I'll tell you the nuances when I'm talking about that's the nuance. So we're gonna wait on it, ladies and gentlemen, and we'll exit on the arrow. Ooh, so that trade basically is a break even a little bit. It went 16 points in our favor, so no big deal.
Dr. Jones.
Yes, sir. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I never saw the pullback on the 2700 or the market structure on the 900, but it might just look like that from my end because I can't see anything that's close. But
so let me show you something. That was an algorithmic trade here, because it's above 70, and it came down, and you know how the arrow, the arrow down and then the arrow
yeah, I
up.
saw the arrow down and the arrow up, and I was thinking that that's just on another time frame.
Yeah, see, if you could go down to another time frame. I just had a feeling it was going to work, and it did. But it got you out on the exit from an algorithmic standpoint now. And when I say I'm just talking about what the algorithm did. The algorithm got you in at 20 and got you out at 20 and a quarter.
Interesting.
That's what the algorithm did. That's not what we did today, but that's what the algorithm did. Because everything lined up for the trade, but you're trading in a lot of resistance areas over here, right? Because that thing pushed pretty hard, pretty fast. It went in your favor, just like that. It gave you 1-to-1, so you're not going to lose on a trade that goes 1-to-1 in your favor, right? That's why it gets you out. It's going to get you out at break even plus the plus commissions, so you can pay for the trade, because it don't make no sense to lose on a trade that goes in your favor like that. So it went in your favor. It did well, and then it out of nowhere, because it hit that resistance area, came pushing down. So it hadn't given you anything. Now you have divergence to go down, and you'll have confirmed divergence once this bar finishes on the 8100. And this is what I mean by you have to use common sense, right? Because just because the algorithm gives you a trade doesn't mean that you should trade it, because you have to be able to see what's going on in the markets and how the market is moving and breathing, so to speak. That's very, very important. And right now it's breathing kind of erratically. So now we got red and red, right? We got red and red. That's tough. That's tough. You got red and red, but you don't have a poke bar.
Mm-hmm.
So because you don't have a poke bar, we just sit here. All right. So now it's in a tight little range here.
Yeah, cross down there. So. Let's see. What's going on?
So we just chill, man. I mean, there are trades that happen from an algorithmic standpoint. Do you understand what I mean when I say you got to use common sense versus, but you got to know what you got going on here. And technically, right? I mean, from a technical standpoint, you have a trade right here. I didn't tell you to take it. Why? Because it's not a trend within the trend trade. It's divergence. It's red and red, but this one right here isn't crossed down. This one here isn't crossed down to give you the trade.
When you say here, you mean the 2,700 or 900?
The 900 isn't crossed down. Okay. The third chart from the left.
Yeah, I see. I just want to make sure we're looking at the same thing.
Yes,
if you get the poke bar on the 2,700,
you kind of asking for trouble. Ain't no other way to put that. You kind of asking for trouble. The reason why you're asking for trouble is you're hitting another zone, right? Yeah. And it's trading in between the zones. And this is why I tell you have to be very, very intentional about your trades. You'll get 3 or 4 trades a day. You had one technically that you could have taken, but it wasn't completely aligned. So I didn't call it. For the live markets, from an algorithmic standpoint, it was a trade. But for us, when you have money on the line, your number one rule, what did Malik say?
Money management.
Money management. I don't care nothing about. You can know this like the back of your hand. If you can't manage money, and you can't manage risk, right? And managing risk is different than managing money. Mm-hmm. He said managing money was his number one thing. In my opinion, managing risk is more important than managing the money, because if you manage risk, then if you manage risk, then money will take care. The money will take care of itself. Mm-hmm. The money management part will take care of itself. Mm-hmm. Like right here, technically, everything's lined up. If you get an arrow to the downside, you're supposed to take the trade. There is no way in the world I'm going to tell you to take that trade. There ain't no way. It's not even close. Why am I not telling you to take that trade? Can anybody tell me?
What chart you refer?
Well, I made a big move down already. Was that about 930, 50 points or so down before it gave it to you? And it's still kind of trend to the overall market.
That part, Keith, is still kind of trend to the overall market. The overall market is up today until this thing turns around and gives me some kind of indication it's trying to go down. You know, if it gave me the indication it was trying to go down in divergence and I had a setup, I might say take that trade. But I'm not sitting up here trying to take that trade and lose because you're trading in a tight zone. Everybody, I need y'all to understand how tight this thing is. It looks okay, cool. We need to look at that zone there, this area right here. This thing go either way. You have to know that. There's no way you should be in here trying to trade the markets and not understand the support and resistance areas you're going to and from. That's key. I mean, absolute key. Because if you don't have those lines wrong, you're wondering why is the market stopping right here and this, that, and the other. Well, does that make sense what I'm saying? Like if you don't know your support and resistance areas, that you don't know why the market's pausing where it's pausing, or pushing through where it's pushing through, or whatever the case might be. You don't know the answer to that. So in order to know the answer to that, you have to know your support and resistance is first. And then your setup is secondary. And your entry is tertiary, right? I mean, the entry is the last thing you should be looking for because everything else has to align with that. And I can't express this enough. being able to have a definitive understanding of what you're looking for is paramount to success. Paramount. Knowing how to do what you're doing is paramount to your success. I can't tell you how many people I've taught how to trade that can't trade, not because they don't know what to do, but because they can't put it all together. All of this stuff, remember when I told you, it's just like calculus. If you can't get past pre-cal, then it's going to be hard. So because it builds on itself, and you have to know and remember all of that stuff in order. And when I say stuff, I'm going to tell you, I tell everybody on camera, the market can do 7 things: higher high, higher low, lower high, lower low, double bottom, double top, and reverse. It's the only thing it can do. It can't do anything but that, right? You have 4 kinds of reversals. The market can give you an ABC reversal, a 1, 2, 3 reversal, a 3-bar reversal, or a 2B reversal. That's it. Only kind of reversals you got. There are 4 reasons to take a trade: higher low, lower high, divergent high high, divergent lower low. Doing anything other than that, you're scalping the market and looking for very quick wins. If you want to make a lot of money fast, then what you have to do is be able to recognize that and not act until then. This is literally a I'm going to say that, let me back up. This is literally a business where you just have to sit and be patient and be aggressive when it's time to be aggressive. It is literally the quintessential definition of passive aggressive. You got to chill and be chill and everything. And then all of a sudden, you got to be like a ferocious lion. You have to go from being literally a meek house kitten to a ferocious animal in the wild. That's what this is. It takes you through changes just like that too, right? I mean, because your emotions are all over the place when you're trading. And you have to be able to have emotional control. These things are just facts. I wish I could tell you that it was an easier way, but it's not. Trading is extremely simple, but it's not easy, right? It's extremely simple, but it's not easy. I didn't mean to cut your head off on the thing. I'm trying to make sure I get. So we're going to do that. Get your credentials online because I can't. They won't let me do it through the phone, which is smart, right? Because they're like, no, because anybody can have your phone.
Yeah.
And if I press that button, then anybody can just be like, oh, cool. So I'm like, all right. So we'll do that. Man, it gave us that one trade that was you could have made $320 per contract, but it ended up being a break even because it moved pretty fast. And it wasn't an ideal common sense trade that you should have taken. So I didn't call it from the live market, but I called it it's an algorithmic trade. And you've had 2 algorithmic trades today. One that happened at 9:40 something or 9:38, right before the market, right before the news. Mm-hmm. And I told you I'm not doing that. We're not doing that one. This right here, we're going to see how it pushes through this area here. Mm-hmm. We're looking for an opportunity to go long. And hopefully that the market will give it to us. If it does not, we're not going to cry about anything. So I did have a question. The question that I had that was sent to me privately was, and I want to answer that publicly. 1 second. Does the algorithm not incorporate a pullback? So the answer to that question is yes, it does. But it does not incorporate the market structures that we talk about. Ladies and gentlemen, to give you an idea, there's a certain set of rules that Dr. Will Jones have. and I can't contend for every contingency. So the algorithm will give you a trade, and the algorithm will give you a trade based on the logic that I have programmed it to do. What you have to do as a living, thinking being is basically know what those market structures are and what the market has to do. Because I told Ronald Jones here, I said, well, listen, you can't trade unless he gives you the perfect trade. And when I say perfect, I don't mean that perfect in the true sense of the word. I mean perfect from the standpoint of what we're looking for. Like, and if it's not exactly what, if it's, let's just say it's 98% of what we're looking for, we're not taking that trade. Well, everything lined up, but well, we don't take that trade. Everything, I mean, it was like almost right there. We don't take that trade. Everything has to line up. We have to have 100% alignment with what we want to see in order to take the trade. That's why you have not heard me say today, hey, you've had a trade here and it went here. You've heard me say the algorithm gave you a trade here and it went here. You've heard me say this is where you get in and this is where we got out based on the algorithm. You've heard me say that. But I have a young man here and he's going on this journey to $1 million. The most important thing that anybody can do is protect your capital. Point blank, period. This is a trend within a counter trend trade right here. This right here is a trend within a counter trend trade. But the trend is on the 8100. It's counter trend on the 2700. They gave you the entry on the 900, but it's not exactly what you want to see. Again, can the trade work? Yes. If we're sitting here by ourselves and we're taking trades, yes. But from a public eye standpoint, you have to stay consistent because people need to see that you can be consistent, right? And okay, cool. We're looking for, I mean, that's legit because you see everything's not green over here, right? Everything's not green, so we're not like, that's why I didn't call it, because everything's not lined up the way I told you to. Now, once I get you more and more advanced as we go along, then you can take that trade based on other stuff. But the first thing you got to do is you got to master one thing first. And then once we master that, then we go to the next thing. And then we go to the next thing. Because this right here, this is the drawback of using these larger time frames. You don't have as many entries. But when everything lines up, it should pop. Because now what we're looking for is we want this 2700 to pull back and then continue it up move. But right now I'm going to talk in terms. You have a confirmed 2B with a retest right now unless it breaks the highs. So you have price confirming that it got below a support area and now it's retesting after breaking and closing below that support area to see if the bears truly have control. But then you have the bulls who are trying to reassert control by taking the market up, but they will not reassert control if they don't break those highs. If she doesn't break the highs and she doesn't come down and then break the lows, then that means the bulls and the bears are fighting. And in that case, you do what, gentlemen? When the bulls and bears are fighting, Quentin and Keith should know this like the back of their hand. What do y'all do?
Yeah. You don't do anything. You just sit and wait.
Chill. That's exactly right. You just sit and wait. You just bulls and bears fighting. That's consolidation. That is the quintessential definition of consolidation. Because she can't go anywhere. She's not going up. She's not going down. She's just in a range. And right now, we don't know what's going to happen. The 8100 going to save your tail a lot of times. So now, based on what I've told you, we might have a setup here.
Yep.
You do have a pulp bar. You do have Quentin. You have the con, right?
Yep.
2 contracts. If you get that green arrow to the upside,
Push chart
the 300.
300.
Yeah.
In at 24.
Right. Ladies and gentlemen, we're in live on this trade here at 24. We'll see how it happens at this resistance area. It needs to break through this resistance. So we'll see if it does. I'm gonna step away from the camera so I can watch it.
Let's do that. There we go.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we have pushed hard through that area, just like I told you it would. So now we're gonna go ahead and exit that trade out.
Out at 1650.
Cool. So, ladies and gentlemen, what we did was, in this particular case, I'm away from the camera. Can you guys hear me loud and clear?
Yes.
Okay. What we did right here is it pushed through the resistance area, right? But I don't want to be in this trade in case it comes back down through there. So we made 16.5 points on that trade on the mini. That's equivalent to $20 a contract, which is equivalent to like $320, something like that.
330.
This might continue to push through. It might continue to push through. However, we don't know that for sure because it's at an area of the highs. You're expecting it to break the highs. I don't know if it will or will not. That's why I'm not going to take a chance on that trade breaking the highs. Do I think it might? It might. Do I think it might not? It might not. I don't know the answer to that. For us to make 8.5 points on the trade per contract is not bad. But that is what we want to do. Right? So now, from a technical standpoint, right, it got you in. Your stop would have been 12.
12. Entry 24.
We made what our stop would have been. We made 16, our stop was 12. Right? So it's pushing through, which is great. This is the part I want you to do. This is what I'm going to have you do. You're not going to exit this trade until you get the star exit. Because I don't want you thinking. I don't want you to have to think, okay, cool, it was this, bang, enter the trade. It was going up, going up, going up. I'm going to get out when it gives me the arrow down. Right? I'm going to get out when it gives me the arrow down, and we're going to see what that lands. But you don't want to be playing because it broke through the high. Yes, it did. Right? It broke through the high. But we don't know for sure that it's going to do that. Right? You don't know for sure that it's going to break through the high. And it went your 1-to-1. Oh my God. That trade's still working. Ladies and gentlemen, we call that trade and it's still going. We exited the trade because I knew we had reached our 1-to-1 target as far as our risk on the trade was 12 points and we made 16 points on the trade. And that's it. So with that said, we'll go ahead and end this live session and give you what I think is a great motivational quote for today. You can accomplish anything you want to accomplish. Anything. You have to have a plan, execute that plan all the time. But let me give you a different perspective on that. You have to believe. If you're doing something and not believing something is going to happen, you're going to run into a lot of problems. And you'll wonder why something is not working. You have to believe. Before you do anything else, believe. If you don't have a belief, find a way to get that belief. That's all I got. Ladies and gentlemen, this is it for today. This is the Prophet Stalker signing off. Y'all have a great one.